I approached Pizza Tower with high expectations on the Switch, having heard nothing but positives regarding the Steam release, and the common consensus seemed to state that it's a blend of classic platforming and high-speed action. So think Wario Land, specifically 4, which was a noted influence, blended then with Sonic. But does this premise deliver? That's the big question for me. So today, we're going to be diving in and finding out. Alright, so if you do enjoy this video, do me a favour, subscribe, helps out the channel a huge amount. Now, jumping straight in with story. It is simple, but it sets up the gameplay nicely. You take on the role of Peppino, a down-on-his-luck pizza chef whose pizzeria is under threat from the titular pizza tower that is controlled by the evil pizza face, and basically at the top of the tower there is a massive laser that could spell a doom for you. And when I say doom here, I mean your building's gonna go boom. So your mission, climb the tower, defeat Pizza Face, and save your pizzeria. So gameplay understandably takes center stage here, and it does not disappoint. Much like a classic platformer, this tower is segmented into floors akin to worlds in a more traditional experience. Now your mission is simple: overcome each level and defeat a boss before you're granted the opportunity to advance to the next floor. Adding to the challenge, however, is the fact that each level presents you with a score and a cash reward. This cash is crucial as it's required to unlock the boss encounter, and you must overcome this before you can progress. Now, while I will say I initially found it easy to maintain forward momentum, from floor 3 onwards I had to revisit a few levels to acquire the necessary cash to unlock that boss encounter. When you first jump into this game though, the sheer creativity on display is just incredibly impressive, and while comparisons to Wario Land, particularly in the character moveset, are valid, the speed at which you can move just took me by surprise. The core skill set as well here, really fun, features sprints, wall runs, grabs and throws, mid-air dashes, vertical boosts, and rolls. But it doesn't stop there either. The game keeps things fresh with unique special abilities such as a sausage you can ride for an extra speed boost, moments where you turn into a ghost, and then there's a bird that introduces grappling styled platforming mechanics. These surprises, they kept me on my toes throughout the journey, and these are just a few of the early examples. The level setup then is another unique aspect I think many will enjoy. The concept is straightforward. Reach the end of the location, destroy a figure of sorts, and a countdown timer then begins. This timer is linked to your exit, and you must make your way back to the beginning before it does run out. It is intense but well implemented, thanks to shortcuts that do open up throughout the location. This ensures the gameplay remains fresh, never feeling like you're simply, retracing your own steps. You can also pick up clocks along the way to extend this window, but do be cautious. Each second that slips away depletes your score for that location. Adding to this then as well, the level design generally in Pizza Tower just breaks away from the traditional side-scrolling formula. Forget the standard left to right journey. This adventure goes in all directions, pushing you to think on your feet, especially in that exit. You're going to find yourself though backtracking, exploring branching paths, and solving what I'd consider simplistic puzzles. For instance, encountering a locked door isn't a rare occurrence here. To proceed, you will need to hunt down the key, which could be hidden in a myriad of challenging corners or guarded by enemies. Other examples include moments where you must race to an exit or navigate a section with 0 damage. One of the biggest things Pizza Tower gets right though is its variety. We have the core goal of rescuing pizza toppings from different levels, but they are also packed with collectibles, hidden secrets, bonus locations. It just offers plenty of reasons to keep you coming back long after those credits roll. The game even features a handy percentage completion tracker for the tower on the home menu, and each floor has its own set of achievements detailed in a room that you can freely explore in your own time. For me, the aspect that keeps drawing me back in is getting an S rank, perfect runs which require a combination of flawless movement, navigation, and then of course rescuing those in need. The biggest obstacle in achieving this, I foresee, is the speed. You're gonna need a split-second reaction times. This then brings us to enemies and boss encounters. You can tackle, grapple, and eventually sprint straight through them if you reach the top speed. There's a large variety of enemies as well, each with their own unique characteristics for defeating them. So for example, a guard with a shield must be approached from behind, or at least at top speed, while a pineapple has spikes on its head that do cause damage. Thankfully, even if you do die, the game instantly throws you back to the previous checkpoint. It's never really here that enemies are the biggest challenge either. They're rather there as an obstacle to achieving a fast time. The only deaths I really saw was when I actually fell to my death. Bosses on the other hand then as well, incredibly creative. I died more than a few times here, but I loved facing each one once I understood their attack patterns. The second boss in particular is a standout, a gun-toting, western-themed adversary that requires you to use ranged attacks, something very different to the rest of the experience. When it comes to problems with Pizza Tower, very few. The only issue I really faced was that the hitboxes for enemies. Sometimes I guess they felt misaligned with the character on the screen, so occasionally it seemed like I barely touched an enemy, while other times I could see myself jumping straight through them. It's not really a problem, more something you need to adapt to with a little time, but it is for sure noticeable. Additionally, I think there's a couple of frustrations that may come up for players. So first, the speed will take some time to get used to, so stick around, stick with it. Second, the controls, the joystick feels ultra sensitive, and I found myself ducking unintentionally quite frequently. That slowed me down a huge amount. Switching to the D-pad resolved this issue for me. I definitely recommend you do play that way. And again, look, these, they're not, faults, but they do present a, I guess, smaller barrier to entry that everyone will need to overcome. Visually, Pizza Tower is something special. It's a love letter to 90s animation, and it definitely captures that Ren and Stimpy 5A positive in my eyes. The style will undoubtedly be loved by some, hated by others, but what stands out to me is how expressive each character is. Movements are big, bold, and exaggerated, and sure, look, this has led to some hitbox misalignments, but was it worth it? I actually do think so. This animation style as well works throughout the entire package. Brief cutscenes and animations are stunning. I particularly enjoyed a sequence where you get into a rocket ship. Then the levels are incredibly varied. Now, does it get a little manic on screen at times? Sure, but I think manic and tension are probably two key words the developers want to hear from players, and they absolutely went for it. Audio then can be a make or break aspect of any game, and let me tell you, this may be my favourite part of Pizza Tower. Much like the animation and gameplay, the soundtrack is upbeat, fast-paced, and occasionally anxiety-inducing, especially the theme song that plays as you attempt to escape each location. Now, would I listen to it offline? Probably not. I think I'd end up having a panic attack. However, when paired with the gameplay, it just makes sense. It's incredibly well written, beautifully eccentric, and it's just darting all over the place with unique instrumentation, varying BPM, and synchronization with the levels. It is a stunning soundtrack, honestly. Plus then, on top of all of this, the minor sound effects further just reinforce the action. Crashes, speedy movements, enemies, it is all here and it is spot on. Overall, Pizza Tower is one of the best 2D platformers on the Nintendo Switch, I have no doubt about that. Look, sure, it has clear influences. However, it only takes elements and then slaps its own eccentric personality on the package. The level design is fantastic, bosses are challenging but fair, escaping levels is intense, and the art and the music absolutely stunning. There is for sure a learning curve initially, but it's more than worth it. Throw in then the fact as well that the game has a ton of reasons to keep you coming back. Think high score chasing, achievements, hidden secrets, bonus locations, and more. And yeah, this one, it's an easy recommendation. So for me today, it's an amazing 9 out of 10. Basically, just go buy this game and let me know if you've been playing it already in the comments down below. With that, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, deals, news and lists daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.